In other news now, and as the United States continues to struggle with COVID-19, a top U.S. senator unveiled an 18-point plan to hold the Chinese government accountable for the spread of coronavirus. Prominent suggestions included in the plan are deepening military strategic ties with India, Vietnam and Taiwan. This even as the world is accusing China of hiding information about the virus in the early stages. Meanwhile, China has said that it has tested over 3 million of its 11 million citizens in Wuhan. WION correspondent Patrick Falk has more on this.
Well, observers have said that Beijing can expect more vitriol to come from Washington, but really it needed to prioritize stabilizing the economy and that it needn't worry too much about some of the words that were coming out of the White House, unless, of course, words turn into actions. Now, the Global Times took a swipe back at President Trump, calling his latest comments a nonsense election strategy, and also compared this idea that the U.S. would be better off cutting off its relationship with China and that it would save the U.S. $500 billion to the gaffe that the president made about people injecting themselves with disinfectant to try and fight off the coronavirus. Meantime, China does seem to be getting a handle on the outbreak. In the last 24 hours, authorities reported 3 new cases of coronavirus infection, down from 4 the day before. And the city of Wuhan, we are told, according to reports, that nearly a third of its citizens have now been tested for COVID-19. Remember, there was a report that came out just a few days ago saying that it planned to test all 11 million of its citizens over the course of a 10-day period. This is because of concerns over asymptomatic carriers. Authorities, as far as we understand, want to stamp out the issue of asymptomatic carriers altogether, and it's focusing on areas within the city where there have been clusters of infections and among old people and people at risk in particular.
Meanwhile, China urged the United States to meet it halfway and strengthen cooperation in the fight against coronavirus pandemic after President Donald Trump threatened to sever bilateral ties.
To maintain the steady development of China-US relations is in the fundamental interests of the people in both countries and is conducive to world peace and stability. At present, China and the US should continue to strengthen cooperation against the epidemic, defeat the epidemic as soon as possible, treat patients, and restore economy and production. But it requires the US to meet halfway with China.